I'm Cy Wakeman and I'm a drama researcher. I'm here today with a couple of favorite clients. They're actually in Omaha with me getting certified in reality-based leadership and harboring accountability. And we are taking some time out. We're going to do some speed coaching.
What do you say to the manager who says, I have this one team member who does resist every single time, but then eventually comes around? And I just know that I and the rest of the team have to just put up with that until finally he gets there.
So whenever we have people just accepting like status quo, you have to ask them at what cost and check their math. So a lot of people think, oh, that's just how they are. They resist, they resist, they resist. I eventually know that they'll come around and it's all good. And I say, if it's all good, that's great, but let's make sure it's worth it. What's the cost to you and the team of this current behavior? So what would be some of the costs involved of him waiting each time to come around? And they say, well, the cost is that it does hold the team up and I spend maybe an hour or two extra. I'd say quantify it. Let's get how many hours extra. And what if they could skip the middle part, the resist, and they could go from hear about it and accept it? Most people go, oh, I never thought about that. Well, that's just how they are. I go, but they're not cement. Like, what if they could be different? And if that's a possibility, why aren't we at least coaching for it? If I were the manager of this person, and I would say in the past, I've noticed that your MO is resist, and eventually you come around. What are one or two things that you could do to shorten the time frame between hearing what I need and coming around?
Yeah.
Right now it's about a 2-month period.
Yeah.
Well, I eventually come around, and it's costing me too much, so I want to lessen the cost of this. How could you come around quicker? Since you're always going to come around, how could you do that quicker? Self-reflection. Well, that's just how I am. So pretty much when I do math, what you want me considering is that that's just going to be a fixed cost for me. Do you ever wonder if that's going to get too expensive at some point when my resources get cut?
Where would you start, or how do you approach a person who has really no self-awareness about their level of accountability, or how much they play the victim, or how emotionally expensive they really are?
Or how their actions are impacting their team.
So if you're looking for somebody to increase in accountability or awareness, the only way I know is bypassing the ego through self-reflection. So the ego's job is to keep us pretty unaware about our impact on others so that we can keep doing this bad math. It's not that bad, I don't cost that much, I don't inconvenience that many people. Well, let me introduce you to reality. And so the first thing I do is I get visual with people. Let's do some math. You perform average, you're not always ready for what's next, so that's below average, and your drama quotient's very high. And since that's a major player here, it doesn't seem like you understand, your expense. I've drawn the math out. What do you think about that? Where do you agree? Where do you disagree? And then what I like to do for folks is, as long as we're doing all the work for them, they can stay unaware. So I give an assignment for self-reflection. I say, I would like for you to think about 3 ways that you impact others negatively with the behavior we saw this afternoon. And it's the questions that get people self-reflecting, and self-reflection is the key ingredient in accountability. So you've got to get people self-reflecting, because that's where we bypass the ego that is saying, not me, not me, not me, I'm misunderstood, I'm the victim. And we get people saying, don't take my word for it that you're a pain in the neck, ask you.
Thanks, that's really helpful. Excited to take this back to the organization.
I love it. And let me know how it works, because that's the next. Let's give me some feedback, and we'll check in with you and let me know how it works. So,
great.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thanks. Make us think
Good luck.
of things in a different way.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You bet.